right, and now we're back and we are ready to look at an example of how I took my information sheet about Norway and transferred that information onto this outline template. So after we finish watching this video, you'll probably want to come back and watch it again. And what I would suggest is watch, and after each step, you stop the video and go and do that slide and then come back and watch it again. But watch it all the way through once just so you understand what you're going to do. Okay, so let's get started. So here is my Norway outline. And like we said, we're going to start with that introductory slide, which is our title slide. So this is the slide you're going to have up right when you get started with your presentation. And all it needs to have is the name of your destination, so mine is Norway, the name of the presenter or presenters, if you're a pair, your section, and the date. That's all that you're going to need to have. It needs to look nice and engaging so that your viewers, your teacher, and your classmates are excited about your presentation. And you're going to want to go ahead and put in a kind of general image, maybe a picture of the flag, maybe a picture of one of the skyline, if it's a city, maybe a recognizable landmark. And that's going to be there just to help you as you prepare your slide deck as we go forward. Okay, you can always change the picture, you can always add more, but it's just, again, this is helping us get ready to make that slide deck a lot easier. On my next slide is going to be my outline of the presentation. And we've really done most of the work for you here. You just need to add in your attractions here. And where did I get those? I got those from my model, or from my information sheet, each of my 3 attractions. So first I'm going to be talking about the Viking Skiphuset. Then I'm going to be talking about Trollsteigen. And then finally, I'm going to be talking about Tim Wendelboe coffee, right? So those are my 3 attractions. Those were the 3 attractions that I went and learned more information about. And that's the 3 attractions that I have information about on my information sheet. So you see how it goes step by step. So everything else here, I don't need to add anything, just those attractions. And again, I've added an image here that I maybe want to include on my slide. Again, I can add more images later. I can change this image if I decide, oh, that's not really working for me. But for now, I know this is a nice image that I'd like to use in my presentation somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and keep it here in my outline. Okay, so the next slide, again, this one's pretty easy. The next slide, slide 3, is where you're going to put your proposal. Now, you can, it's up to you, either go ahead and copy and paste your proposal here, or you can just make a note for yourself, because remember, this outline is just notes to help you as you prepare your slides. I decided to just write proposal paragraph. I know that when I get to slide 3, when I'm creating my slide deck, I'm just going to copy my proposal from that Google Doc and put it on the Google slide. And I'll probably need to work on some formatting and that sort of thing. But for now, I know that slide 3 is just going to have that proposal. So far, I haven't really had to do a whole lot with this outline. It's been fairly easy. Let's get into the more challenging part, and that's going to be transferring that information from my information sheet into the slides. And the first one is the destination overview. So as you can see here in my information sheet, I have a lot of information about Norway, but I'm only going to put that on one slide. So just like with the proposal, I need to think, what are the most important bits that I want to include from this here, right? Now remember, the attractions I'm going to talk about in more detail in the coming slides. So I don't even really need to think about those right now. So I decided to pick out from geography and climate. The important parts is that it's above the Arctic Circle, it's cold, and there's mountains and fjords. was the information as I went through that really stood out to me, that made Norway unique and different and interesting, right? The same thing with type of travel. And you'll see these are also connected to the attractions I'm going to talk about. We're talking about going to Trollstigen. That's adventure up that windy road. There's also a chance to see nature and wildlife there. And then history, we're going to be going to a Viking ship museum. So Viking history is important. So these, again, are things that connect in to my whole presentation. And then finally, some interesting facts. And I found a couple of pictures that I think go well with this information. A map that shows me where Norway is, and then also some pictures of those interesting wildlife that we can see in Norway that are very different from anything we can see here in Oman. Another thing I want to point out for you is how the outline already formats for me correctly if I just let it. So if I come and I say geography and climate, and then I click enter or return, it's going to do this for me, the capital letters and the subtopics here with the numbers. So play around with that, but Google Docs already does a lot of the formatting for you. That's awesome. You'll also notice that my outline is just notes. It's phrases, it's words. I've also used symbols like the ampersand sign to say and. I've used a little arrow here to show relationship. So again, the outline is just to help you get your ideas down so you know what each slide is going to be about. It's not writing out a script, and that's going to be very important as we get ready for our presentations. Okay, so let's move on to my first attraction. So here you see all of the information that I found about the Viking skiphuset, right? And on this first slide, I'm just talking about this one little bit, the highlights of the visit. But you'll notice I actually went and added some information because as I got started, I realized, I need to know more about what kind of Viking ships. What am I going to say about this? I need to have more information to give my friends and my classmates and my teacher. And so that's why, and I actually cut it off in this picture, but it's there, I promise. That's why it's really important that you have these links here. So now I could go back to my link about this museum and I could go and find more detailed information about that attraction that I want to include in my presentation. And again, you'll notice I've let Google Docs do its thing with the outlining format. I've also used numbers. I've used phrases and words. There aren't any sentences here. It's just notes. So I took this information here about old Viking ships. I said Viking ships, and then I went and learned about some more specific Viking ships that I want to visit when we go there. And then we talked about Viking artifacts. I need to learn more about this. I went back to the website and I found some more information about those artifacts. And then the same thing here with the museum gift shop. I went and learned what kind of things do they have at the museum gift shop. And finally, SQU students, that's directly brought from here. Easy, yeah? Then the next slide is about hours of operation and cost. And so that's these two columns here. And this one's a little bit easier. I just had to copy and paste over, or actually copy or type in so that that formatting stays correct, that information. And again, I've included some images that I found for that Viking ship museum that I'm going to want to use in my presentation, right? So I'm going to do the same thing for my next attraction. Here's Trollstigen, and oops, I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Again, I had to go back and get a little bit of extra information. I said it's a mountain road. What about that mountain road? What can I say about it? That it's steep with a 10% incline and that it's curvy with 11 bends. That information wasn't here. I had to go back to my original sources to pull out some more information. But that's just going to make my presentation more engaging, more details, more information, more description that hopefully SQU Travel Club will want to visit. And then again, my student benefit comes strictly or directly from this column. And again, hours of operation, that came from here. Easy. Again, the same with my coffee shop. My information from here came from this column, and revisiting those links. Then my hours of operation came from here and from here. So now I have my body of my presentation really nicely organized. I've got a lot of good information. I've got some good pictures, and I'm almost ready to finish this outline. The last thing I need to do is that conclusion. And this is just a brief summary of the things I've talked about. My first attraction was the Viking Ship Museum. So my summary is Norway has an interesting history and Vikings. My second attraction is about that really cool road through the mountains of Norway. So we're talking about that it has beautiful nature. And then my third attraction is about that coffee. That looks good. So I'm going to talk about that Norway has good food and drink that students will enjoy. So you see how my conclusion restates the main idea of each of my attractions. It's just like what we're doing in our writing. I love it. It all links together. It's amazing. And then finally, again, that last slide, all I need to have is questions and thank you and a really engaging picture. All right, so like I said, I would encourage you to come back with this video, maybe playing on your phone, with your outline and your information sheet and go through it step by step by step until your outline is great. So your homework is to complete your outline and revise your portfolio, your Google folder, based on any of your teachers' feedback from before midterm. So make sure all that work from before the midterm is looking good. And if you have any questions, talk to your teacher. And thank you, as always, for your attention. I can't wait. These presentations are going to be amazing. All right, see you again soon.